So, guys, we've done it. We've
Yeah.
finally released 2 podcasts in a month.
Hell yeah. Feels like it should have been more, but I'll take 2.
We did them. We finally did it. That's
I mean, we can stop now.
we could,
I
yeah.
mean,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
we got as consistent as we'll get.
Yeah.
Don't expect to see us again till like maybe next year.
I mean, people are probably at this point pleading for us to stop, so we'll do them a
Oh, I've
favour.
already got multiple DMs telling me to stop talking.
Yeah. My boss just like came and said like, look, I don't know if we can allow this to continue. Like, it's you or the company. We'll put the company first.
The
I
company.
mean, Michelle, I hope that you wouldn't share those DMs that I sent you. That was strictly between us to tell you to stop talking.
It's just workplace abuse, and after when I did submit them to the HR that we newly founded, but you just
Nearly founded.
nearly.
I made sure to thwart that.
Yeah.
Nip it right in the bud there and there.
Which is insane when you were the one calling for it last episode.
I mean, my lawyer is present off to the side currently,
okay,
so we're
yeah.
going to see how this taping
Yeah,
goes.
you're not legally allowed to talk about this, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. Welcome to Urgent Rewrite.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome, everybody.
We didn't want to talk about
We've
Doctor
got to get
Who.
better at this.
Yeah, we didn't want to talk about Doctor Who 2 weeks in a row. We made a very conscious effort to say we would not talk about Doctor Who every episode. But I think so far we are 3 for 3. But that's because of all of the atom bomb that was dropped yesterday. Oh, actually, yesterday.
Yeah.
2 days
Yesterday?
ago. 2 days ago. Fuck.
It was Sunday night.
Our 14th
Well,
Doctor
Sunday
has been
afternoon.
crowned for 2 days, and it feels like it's been a lifetime already.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Where were you when you heard the news? Where were you?
Just in bed.
I was on my settee over there.
Fermoy's Garden Centre. Hell yeah.
Yeah!
The news broke. I was like, yes, this has made my already
This is
awful
our
life
first sponsored
sometimes
segment.
better.
And finally, someone wants us. Yeah, I've seen every take under the sun already. All the people who have already decided that Jodie was a failed experiment is
Yep.
loving every moment of this, calling this an experiment as well, with the first black doctor as well. And gay doctor.
And ripped Doctor.
Yeah, wow. And it's
Yeah.
pretty ripped.
Did you not see Matt Smith and Morbius?
Yeah,
Nah.
true.
Was whatever he was doing.
It's
I
having a
haven't-
little
I haven't,
dance.
I mean, if people are saying Jodie's a failed experiment, then I think that's a pretty good failed experiment.
Yeah.
Like, she was absolutely fantastic. Like, in the current Doctor Who magazine that I'm reading at the minute, there's like this really interesting interview with Chibnall, and then he's talking about how, as they're going through the edit, they obviously have to do like so many passes of the edit and like watch it with the sound off and everything. And he really, like, he recommended watching Holiday Jodie's episodes with the sound off, so that you can just see all the little mannerisms and things that she's doing in the background, and like all the physical comedy that she does. Like, she's not even the one in focus, and she's the one in the back. Like, yeah, what an actress. Absolutely incredible.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he disappearing?
Nah, he's good.
Oh, sorry, did I cut out?
A little bit.
Tiny
It's
bit.
fine. Just
Fine.
at the end.
Oh. Well, then, that's not for you to hear. That's for the listeners.
Yeah, no, I think it's insane that people are writing off Jodie instantly, and
Yeah.
I've seen enough people who have already said, like, oh, I'm glad this era is entirely done with, and we're never going to talk
Yeah.
about it again. It's like, no, I'm sure Russell would have cast a woman just the same as he would have cast Shooty. Shooty's
Yeah.
just so good.
Like-
Also,
What a dude.
insane to me how nobody ever thought that man could be the Doctor, because I had no idea. I just watched him in Sex Education, loved every moment. He has so many highs and lows. He can do long-winded speeches, and I was like, oh yeah, no, he's never going to play the Doctor, I guess.
Yeah.
He's
Well, that was never a
yeah.
thought that went
Yeah.
through my mind of, oh, he wouldn't be able to do it. But I think
I know,
that's
maybe a
when you
couple-
know.
couple years. You know, he seemed really young, and like,
Yeah.
you know,
Really young. The man's
Really
nearly
young.
30.
he seemed like he was 14. Like, it's what's insane.
Still 5 years older than when Matt Smith
Yeah.
Yeah.
took it. But
it's like, oh.
yeah, I think that's when you know that it's, I mean, not that a name actor or something can't be an Incredible Doctor, but I think they're my favourite castings before you've seen any of like them actually as the Doctor. Is it someone where it's like, oh, obviously it's them. Why didn't we think that it would be them?
Yeah.
And yeah, that complete curveball where it's suddenly like, yeah, it was them all along, of course. Like, why didn't we think of that?
No, right in front of us for like 4 years. I'm so happy. It's always been, it's so great that we have Russell back anyway, but like him bringing the silliness of Doctor Who back with Ncuti, because you know Ncuti going to play it silly.
Oh yeah.
You know. It's going to be great.
It's like, what was it? Quentin Reviews put out the tweet. I think it was like every episode it needs to be like a new wardrobe, and it can just be whatever Ncuti just turns up to set on. Like, just that's the outfit for this week. Like, that'll be fine.
I'm so excited for when the regenerations first happened, and then Ncuti in Whittaker's clothes. Like,
that'd be
them
brilliant.
in that outfit, just absolutely incredible.
That'd be brilliant.
They're one of those annoying people where they can make literally any outfit
Anything
work.
work.
Yeah, they don't have to try. Like, it's just, I woke up in this. Like,
You
it's
see them
perfect.
at the BAFTAs, like that. They have a hole in their shirt, and it looks great.
Yeah, that was a look. So very happy with that.
They nicked Bill's shirt from.
I don't remember
Stop.
the shirt.
But nah, my big.
No,
my
I meant
big call.
more. Bill got a hole in the chest.
Oh, you know, you piece of. I thought
Sorry,
you meant.
I should have.
Oh.
No. Sorry,
Nah,
I should
my
have
big
explained
call.
that more.
No,
call,
that
we've
was
got-
probably a better subtle joke. I
Yeah.
just do not remember Capaldi's era.
More for you then.
Yeah. That's pity you. But my big call, I want Lydia West as the companion now. Like, make her the companion. Like, there's nothing
Yeah.
to stop her now.
Isn't she
She'd
in
be
the
so
new
good.
Mike Myers show on Netflix?
Yes, she is.
I've not seen it yet because, like every other Netflix show, it just kind of gets released one day and it's like, oh, that came out.
Yeah. Netflix really needs to stop doing the binge stuff. The binge content is dying.
Well, at least they're breaking some of it up. Like, Ozark was in 2 seasons. Stranger Things is going to be in 2 parts. Like,
They're doing it because it's the end of it. It's so that it's elongated a little bit. They did it with BoJack as well,
yeah.
which was so
I mean,
weird.
like, at least it's. I'd rather have that than nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like it weekly, I'll be honest. But,
Yeah.
like,
I must admit, I am really enjoying weekly stuff again.
so
Yeah.
nice.
Although it is a very different experience when something comes out weekly on the streaming service, isn't it? Because when it's on live TV, like when the Sherlock stuff was happening, Zach and we were like texting each other as it was going on. There was like everyone's watching it at the same time, you know, like you're all experiencing it there.
Exactly.
Whereas then when it's just kind of like chucked out on a streaming service, like obviously it's still good and you get the conversation week by week. Like the One Division stuff was so much fun, like all the theories and, as that was coming out.
Oh, yeah.
So good. It's still why Doctor Who I think is great, because I feel like it's still a public conversation. Even if it is slowly declined in viewership, it is still a public conversation, and people are still tweeting about it as it's going on.
It's like when he said at the BAFTAs, it's like when they asked him, "Oh, are you a fan of Doctor Who?" And he went, "Oh, I don't know anyone who's not a fan of Doctor Who." I was like, "We have lived different lives." Like, I know a lot of people who do not like Doctor Who.
I'm pretty sure
I
that's
was
just
not very popular in school because I liked Doctor Who.
That's
I
just
was
the
not very
BBC's
popular.
line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone's a fan of it. Don't
everyone
look at
cares
the
about
declining
Doctor Who,
viewership.
yeah.
Everyone loves this show. We didn't get cancelled for 20 years.
This is like the first Doctor that was born in the wilderness years when it was off air. Other than the Doctors from before it was on air, but he was born I don't know when
He's
born.
29, so that would be 1993, 1994.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that much
so
older
while
than
it was
us.
off air.
Oh.
Wow.
The dark days.
So when did it went off air in like 1980 something?
And I know the film was in 96, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, around 98 something. So I guess Smith might have just missed the deadline as well. I don't know. I don't know. I'm spitballing ideas now.
Yeah.
Either way, it's very exciting. I'm so happy that Doctor Who has got people talking again, because like
Yeah.
I love that it's still a public conversation, but most of the time when you click on a thread, it's either people being excited about the gay bits or people tweeting death threats at Chris Chibnall. So
Yes.
Which you just shouldn't do to anyone, let
No.
alone.
No. Exactly.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
it's just awful. I hate the public conversation around Chris Chibnall, because I feel like you can't tweet praise at him without getting a thread of people
No.
being like, "What the fuck are you on about?"
Yeah.
It was a really weird announcement though, because obviously with Whittaker, that was that during Wimbledon where they did like
Yes,
a television
yeah.
bit and it was all like aired, and I was expecting there to be something like that soon with like, I don't know what sports things going on at the minute, but
Yeah.
something like that, and then it just comes out on Twitter one day and it's like, huh?
Yeah. And didn't they do like a whole like special or something when they revealed Capaldi? Like there was like a
Yeah.
stage or something. Yeah.
I will say, I think Capaldi's one made sense because it was to do with the 50th. That was the reason he was announced.
Yeah.
But when Whittaker was announced, they were also doing the thing where they kept trying to make people watch football and shit to watch like the trailer. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because like no Doctor Who fan is sat there like, oh yeah, I want to go watch fucking Leicester defeat whoever the fuck to go
Yeah,
and see.
Sheffield.
Yeah.
Doctor Who fans and sports fans, that Venn diagram is like almost just two separate
Yeah.
circles.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. It was like 15 minutes of me watching football. Why am I watching this? It's not England.
I mean, I kind of thought in a way like I was upset that it was announced as soon as it was. Like I was very happy with like who it is, brilliant choice, but I could have gone another 6 months and not known. It would have made me so happy to just like keep on going and build up that hype a little bit longer. Like I felt like they kind of just dropped it a little bit too soon.
I have
for me.
a huge thing on this because I really... The thing I love the most about Chibnall's era is the secrets that they keep. Like, I feel like you don't know anything about what's happening until the episode is aired. Which is really cool. And it worked so well for Future of the Judoon because we just got a new Doctor just out of nowhere. And that was insanely cool. So I was really, really hoping that would carry over to Russell T Davies's like publishing team and be like, oh yeah, maybe we should just not say it.
Yeah.
Centenary
Just
rolls
shut
around, Shooty just regenerates, and you're like, oh shit, it's that guy.
And I mean, like they had us all fooled. Like we were all running around thinking, like, well, not all of us, but a load of people, like, oh, is it gonna be David Tennant again? Is it gonna be this person, this person? They could have like let that go on for a little bit longer. The consensus, this conversation could have carried on.
I can't believe people thought it was gonna be David Tennant again.
Yeah, because they were like they're probably going to start shooting at some point fairly soon if the series is coming out in 2023, and so I reckon they were like, we don't want this to leak. We're going to have to get ahead of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. They could have just lied.
Yeah.
But then with what you were saying about like Fugitive of the Judoon, I think that really works as like a middle episode in a series, because if that was like the opener or the finale, would like as an audience to be like, okay, we're expecting something big, we're expecting a big reveal or like a big return, whereas because it was just a middle, what could be like seen as just like a filler episode, and then it's like bosh,
Plus,
new Doctor, holy shit.
during that, they were saying in the build up to it, like, a new person is coming back, or like they were trying to build up something for the middle. And then they said it was going to be... Then Captain Jack just appears. You're like, oh, it's going to be Captain Jack. That's sick. We all thought that was going to happen anyway. And then it's just another Doctor. And you're like, okay. Sure.
And it was like in a time where we were so used to disappointment as well. Like they like tweet out like, oh, someone big is coming back. It's like, oh, you were in one episode 10 years ago and I didn't care. But it was like, fuck, it's the character every single person wants back. It's...
Oh. I like Doctor Who.
It's alright.
It's pretty cool, yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a pretty good show.
It'll do.
Pretty fun. Well, from one Doctor to another, so everyone watch Doctor Strange?
Yeah, that was okay. That'll do too. That was okay.
That was certainly a that'll do moment.
Yeah, it's general consensus. That'll do.
I've really enjoyed it.
I like that someone here isn't cynical about it. That's nice. Because I like it. If you want to give me a score, I would say maybe like a 6 out of 10. It's passable. I'll watch it. It feels like the first Doctor Strange, where it's like, oh yeah, that was a Marvel movie, cool. But nothing about it to me was like, hell yeah, this is so cool.
There were bits where I was like, yes, this is what I've wanted to see for fucking forever, and then there were other bits where it was just like, this is literally what I hate about this franchise, this is what I don't like about it, this is what is putting me to sleep, and those bits were crushing everything that I liked, but...
Yeah.
Some of it is like, in some ways, I really like how simple the story is, where it's like, not every film needs to be a bajillion things all coming together in a really like convoluted way that they're trying to make work and everything. Where it is just then trying to survive the pursuit of Wanda, or like
Spoilers,
the Scarlet
spoilers.
Witch.
That's a spoiler.
It's in the trailer.
Yeah, it's literally in the trailer, come on.
Okay. Okay,
but
we'll get
we
this
could-
is spoilers
we could
from
spoiler
here.
tag
Spoilers
it
Yeah,
from
anyway.
here.
alright, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean-
we do a tagline, but that's a spoiler, yeah.
If someone's watching something like this, then they've
Yeah,
already seen
yeah,
it. Like
that's true,
they
that's
already have decided,
right.
oh, it's a Marvel thing if they're on board or if they're not on board
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it. But yeah, I love the fact that it is so simple of just, we have to survive this. How the fuck do we go about that?
Yeah.
And I think most people's issues with it would primarily come down to the creative decisions in the story and the script, because I think if you gave this script to any, or like all the directors on the planet, I think this is possibly the best version that we could have got from Raimi. But not just from Raimi, but with the things that he did and the creative like angles in the camera work and like the way he told the story with the script that he was given, I think was just absolutely sensational. And long live Lord Raimi.
Long live Lord Raimi. Like, just the fucking, like, just the Raimiisms of it, just like the candles flowing along the floor, like him turning into the fucking deadite king of the dead, like, which is, I'm sure, is what Sam Raimi actually pictures himself as when he goes to sleep at night. But, and just like the fucking chasing the sewers, like, it was so, they just said, yes, you do what you want with it, and I just love that he got that freedom.
I'm gonna slightly push back at that though, because I think Sam Raimi wanted to go further with it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd say so.
there are clear moments where the horror is like one step away from actually being scary.
I mean, some of it, I know there's the whole like, oh, it's a 12A, does it go too far conversation? And I mean, the bit where, you know, the guy from the Inhumans, where like he's just there and then suddenly like his head just kind of implodes there and it's like...
Okay, the gore is great. I won't say the gore is not, that's incredible, but it's the actual like there's the bit where they are getting chased in the sewers. They'll do 1, 2, 3, and we know that there's going to be a jump scare coming up, and the jump scare isn't her breaking through a thing, it's her just walking around the corner.
They do that same jump scare in like less than 10 minutes. Like, there's 3 of the exact same one, and it was like, you've got so many tools in certain other places, and like you're doing it so well everywhere else. Just like, try it here, maybe.
It just, some of it literally, there are so many bits where I'm like, oh, I'm actually gonna be scared here, and I don't get it, because it's like, you are setting up, and we can all see it, because we're writers, we understand how the rule of threes work, we understand this is gonna come up, but then...
I think also general audiences just feel that rhythm, don't they?
Well, but they might not understand why they feel that. We understand, we're looking at it like, oh, okay, this is gonna be the scare, this is gonna be the joke, this is what's happening, and then it just comes and it's like muted, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I jolted a little bit, I guess, but she just stood there, and that's it, and then we just run away again. There isn't really much like status or like much worry in the characters when they are being very close to being killed.
And I think watching it as well, like, to kind of, with that point, like, I think that's where Scott Derrickson walked away. Because, like, I think, you say wanted to push more. I think Scott Derrickson would have really pushed that if he'd had the chance. And I think the Illuminati thing as well would have probably been like a, yeah, you're turning this into something else, and I'm not getting to do what.
Because it was going to be
you
an
brought me on
18.
for. Yeah.
Which
Was it ever going to be in a reality where,
Yeah.
like,
I was-
one of the big budget Marvel films is an 18?
I sort of hoped at least a 15, and then there would be some scares. You get like scary movie-esque scares, but some like actual horror.
It was the first time when it was like Derrickson stood out on the stage and was like, "We're making the MCU's first horror movie," and then just Feige just immediately hand on shoulder. It will still be PG-13 though, just like.
But it was really weird because at work we had, working in a cinema, we had this, and the very first showing we had, at the end of it, and everyone's coming down, we had this, they must have been about 8 years old, coming down those stairs. They weren't in tears, but they were like shaking, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Mum, I think that should have been an 18." And
Yeah.
Mum was like, "Yes, it was a bit scary, wasn't it?"
Yeah.
So I think
You for
that
today, fucking weak. I will show any children that they want The Evil Dead, and they can fucking grow up as they
This
should.
is
like,
Zach's
fucking
Republican
weak.
arc, is what this is.
Yeah, fucking weak children. Like,
would you let this predator anywhere near your children?
I saw, what was it? I saw fucking like the Romero trilogy as a kid. I saw fucking like Gladiator when I was like too young. That's like, these kids are fucking weak. But yes,
We had the
To your
grisly
point.
tales for gruesome kids.
Yes!
God damn it! For lovers of Scream.
Dream. I mean, yeah, it's
Okay, I get that the youth, like, it's probably scary to younger kids, and like that's fine.
Yeah.
But like when they're saying it's going to be a horror movie, and then they mute it and say it's going to be a thriller, like I didn't feel thrilled.
Are you not entertained?
I just enjoyed it. It was like I enjoyed what was going on, and I enjoyed a load of the concepts. Like the way that we explored the multiverse was really fun. Like the way that it was like, we're just okay, cool, we're just traveling, I guess.
yeah.
I thought there would be another sequence, you know, when they are falling through all the levels, then it's like their paint, and then
Yeah.
they're going through all these
Yeah.
different bits. I thought there would be a bit, like another sequence like that. Like, you know, towards the end when she shows Wanda, like I thought there'd be a bit where like Wanda's pursuing her, and then it's then just those two going through, and then
Yeah.
she's trying to like choose some of the multiverses to fight back against Wanda. And I know it's the whole like Sony Disney thing, but I would have absolutely loved the moment during that like first segment with Doctor Strange and stuff. Not because of like, oh, it needs more cameos and it's like, but I just think it would have been a really good moment. He lands in like the Into the Spider-Verse thing. Miles is just a bit like, who are you? And because you know it has like that faint bit
Yeah.
of animation
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, it's the faint
I just
shot
thought it would
of
something that would tie, or even if it's in like the what if kind of animation thing.
It
where
should have
then
been a what if
just
animation.
just for a very small moment, because I know it's the whole thing of people just wanting cameos, and it's like, but I think that is something that could further the story, even if it is just he then sees, you know, the episode of What If where it is like the evil Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Even if he
Yeah,
sees that
right.
for a moment, he's like, what the fuck? And then that would then leave him on a more distrusting thing of himself, which is obviously his arc for the film.
Or like just have him travel through like a dark where should be a universe, and you see the marble and you just sort of see the Watcher come up behind it, and then you just go to the next one. That's like just a small thing that goes, oh yeah, no, these are all actual real things as well.
Yeah.
Because they're not pointing at those and going, look, those are real. At the moment, they're sort of just going, oh yes, you remember What If. So let's bait and switch you and go, here's the one that you saw in that one. No, you actually didn't see that one.
I mean, giving everyone more Jeffrey Wright is never a bad thing.
No,
Yeah, never. Best actor in Hollywood.
Not at
so,
all. But it's...
I mean,
That voice.
I despise the concept of the Illuminati, though. Like, that was the part where I was very elated to see some of those characters. The X-Men 97 theme certainly did
Oh,
things
yeah.
to my soul, but just grown, I was just like, in my seat, just kill me. Like, and there's a way to do that. Like, it's not the... Don't put... Spoilers, don't put Mr. Fantastic, don't put Captain Carter. Like, give me 5 Benedict Cumberbatches in a chair. Like, give me 5 different ones, and just have that be like that's a hell of a fun scene to direct. I care about that more then. I don't care
fully
about...
agree.
It's
but
Mr.
at that point,
Fantastic
there'd
of
be
the
too many
Fantastic
Rick and
Four.
Morty comparisons.
Very
But
much so.
I fully agree. There could have been a whole load more like creative choices, but it was the most
Yeah,
comic
it's
booky
just-
moment of the film
Yeah,
because
that's all
in
it
the comic
was.
books, obviously they don't have to be as restricted with like the rights to things. And so you do just have like massive characters show up for like one page or one panel. And so it was the biggest like, oh, okay, these are just people that exist and you just go along with it.
Yeah.
Well, so the problem I have with the Illuminati, and I think it sort of goes in the same vein as you, Zach, is like, it felt like, oh, we need to shoot in a cameo here because Marvel are making us do a cameo. But I also want to kill them.
Yes. Mm.
And it's like, well, it just felt like we just sort of watched something happen for a moment and then let's move on. Like, there wasn't really any status to it. The only reason they exist is to give Doctor Strange a shortcut.
Yeah, they could have been any character. Like,
Yeah.
I could have put Sue Storm in there. I could have put fucking, like...
You could have put 5
Galactus,
Tony
the
Starks
Hulk,
there
just,
and
yeah,
act like that was
it doesn't
fine.
matter. Nothing. The only one there who really, really matters is maybe Professor X. But even
No.
then, you can argue that way. Just to get into the Wanda bit, but you can argue that way. You could have done another sequence of another character. Like, none of it is set in stone. I need this. It's just this
Well,
could be here and it could look really fun.
The worst one, I think, for me is Reed Richards, because I know everyone's fan casting John Krasinski. So, like, that was obviously going to be the one that gets in if they were going to do one and kill them off.
Yeah.
But it opens up the weird sort of multiverse problem where, like, so he's Reed Richards from this universe. We've just seen 5 Benedict Cumberbatches as Doctor Strange, so that means Reed Richards is just John Krasinski in the whole multiverse.
Yeah.
Which, like, I think this is the biggest problem that they're trying to do with the multiverse, is they're trying to ground it so much that, like, they don't have to explore it as much.
Which is crazy because they haven't, like, Loki didn't do that.
No.
Like, Loki didn't. Like, there was like 4, 5, 6 different
I
versions
want-
of one Loki. Like, why wasn't that in this?
I
Like,
want such a variety. I want to see a different Doctor Strange. I
Yeah.
want to see, like... I love that our universe, he doesn't become the Sorcerer Supreme because it's such an interesting arc to him where he has to learn to deal with a power structure that he isn't a part of. Whilst also being clearly the most powerful person on the planet.
Yeah.
And yet, like, we then just go to another one and just see him in the same position, but just as the Sorcerer Supreme. And that's it. That's, like,
Yeah.
the only difference. Or, like, that he got killed because of a reason, and that was it. Also, why are they all just sat on Titan with Thanos dead? Like, every single person of the Illuminati killing
Yeah.
him. It's like, we're just throwing us to Endgame. We're just
Where's the
doing, hey, look,
X-Men?
Endgame again.
Yeah, where's the X-Men? Like, why
Yeah.
aren't they there? Where's the rest of the Fantastic Four? Why aren't they there?
It's such a it's so annoying, and it's more, I think, entirely the problem with it is that they don't know what they want to do with the multiverse yet. And we
Yeah.
know that because Kevin Feige has just taken people on a trip like a month ago to plan out the next 10 years. So they haven't planned it out yet.
No.
This is just
no,
sort of
he'll have
preliminary.
already planned out to whatever certain point.
He's
They're not
planned
gonna
out to the
be
end of this
planning on-
phase. Sure. But, like, I
Do
think
we know when the end of this
That's it.
phase is?
Quantumania.
Is it?
Yeah.
Have they said that? Confirmed?
Yeah.
That?
That's the end of it.
That's an interesting point to leave it on.
Yeah.
Because
Isn't
will all the
he who
will all the
remains
shows
from
be done by
Loki?
then?
Yeah, Kang is going to be the villain. We know that.
Yeah. Will all the shows be done by then? Because the only ones we've got left are what? Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. They'll be done before
I don't-
Quantumania's out,
I-
won't they?
Think the main thing they'll do is keep the shows running and sort of have them be the ones that bridge the gap. Because the thing with the past saga is all of the show, everything that, like, actually happens still bottles over.
Yeah.
But, like, with this, it's not gonna feel that way. They're just gonna go, oh no, it's the end of the phase, but that's the first
Yeah.
season of Loki, and our second season's in this phase.
I just love the idea that someone who's not really into Marvel films, they went in and they watched the first Doctor Strange, they really enjoyed it, and they haven't seen any other Marvel films. They go, oh, Doctor Strange 2's coming out. I'll check that out. and I just want to see their reactions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
try
like,
and
what's
figure
going
out
on?
what the fuck is going on. Because I mean, it was a lot more reliant on WandaVision than I thought it would be story-wise.
But at the same time, and it's the biggest problem I have with Wanda's character in this, at the end of WandaVision, she's learning to live with herself after giving up her kids and Vision.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh no, I didn't learn to live with myself. I actually just corrupted
Yeah.
myself and tried to go and find my kids again. It's essentially going, if you didn't watch WandaVision, here's what happened in WandaVision.
Yeah.
Here's everything you missed on Glee.
Yeah.
Except this time it gives it a more interesting conclusion.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think
this
the-
time she doesn't get a free pass for like
The
what
thing
she fucking
with-
does.
The thing with WandaVision that I felt was good was that it felt like she was redeeming herself after what she'd done. Like, she'd clearly just caused torture to a whole section of the United States. That, like,
Now they
There's a-
deserve it. It's fine.
it's a clear problem, and I'm sure the whole of the actual of Earth have to now deal with the Scarlet Witch and go, what this is a problem. Are they a villain or are they a superhero? How do we view the Avengers? That leads into a better Civil War, where it was not just like, oh, we fucked up a little bit, or are we actually doing the right thing? There's actual consequences to these people, and they haven't done that.
Yeah.
They've just gone, oh no, you didn't see that, so we're just gonna kill her off, but she's just under rubble and she'll be alive again, because
I know.
Elizabeth Olsen is the biggest actor at the moment in the MCU.
I think with Wanda and everything, what could have been absolutely incredible is for the mid-credit scene, you know, instead of like Charlize Theron coming in and like,
Oh,
because
I'll
it
get to
ended
that.
on such like a big doof for the credits, and then it's like, oh shit, here's this character that we actually know and we care about, and like, how are they going to deal with the consequences of their actions, and what's this
Yeah.
meaning for them? 40 seconds later, oh, they're fine, don't worry about it, here's this new character and they're going to go off and do this thing, and it's like,
That
Yeah,
doesn't
but-
feel. I don't believe Sam Raimi shot that. I
No?
thoroughly don't believe he made that. It looked appalling. It looked awful. There wasn't any semblance of like anything Sam Raimi does, in my opinion, was present in that. I honestly believe somebody else shot that and told him, "You're putting this at the end."
oh, okay.
Like, I think it was terrible. Like, I think he had his ending, and then they were like, "Right, we'll get back to you later. What the post-credit scene is going to be."
I
And
can
then they just
believe
stitched that
that.
on.
I can believe that from the fact that this phase is very like wild and doesn't understand what it's doing until very late. But I also think the way that it still brings in the elements from this movie, it must have had some of his involvement and maybe gone, hey, do you want to do the next one maybe?
Yeah.
Because I think if I made the film, then I think mid-credit scene, or even just having it as a part of the film, to really complete Wanda's thing of her like self-sacrifice and realizing everything she'd done, is just have a scene where it's like somewhere in the multiverse, and then it's just Wanda tucking her kids into bed and she's like, let me tell you about your dad, Vision. And
Yeah.
then it can then kind of do like the sitcom Disney Channel original thing where it then cuts to like the wide shot of the house and then it like fades out and everything.
Yeah.
And it's then like, oh, okay, that's like a nice tender moment, and that's what her sacrifice
Yeah.
has let come about. Where it's like, okay, there is this version of her that does have exactly what she wanted.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a shock to me as well. Like, in regards to, I know it's already quite a stuffed film, but there was no Vision in this movie. There was like 2 references to him the whole film, and it was like, that was the start of her descent, and they mention it twice. And I thought, like, you're playing with the multiverse, bring in a different Vision. Like, give me that. Like, Paul Bettany, I'm sure would have turned up. Like, I'd
Yeah.
like to have seen
He'll
him.
take the paycheck, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'd like
Yeah,
to have
where's
seen
our
him.
milk vision gone from the end of
Yeah.
WandaVision? Although
Like,
I think
that-
what
he
would
could
have been
turned
a
up. Yeah.
what could have been a really interesting dynamic is if, you know, the multiverse that she shows her at the end that then causes her to be like, okay, shit, here's what I'm doing and how it's affecting my
Yeah.
kids, is if maybe Vision was in that one and
Yeah,
then he's like
yeah, that'd
holding
be
the
so much
kids
cooler.
behind him, or like maybe even if they're married in that one and like they're both there,
Yeah.
and so instead of like just one parent or the other, because I thought it was a killer line when That's just before she takes out Reed Richards, where she's like, good, there's still be someone to raise the kids.
Yeah, that was good.
And then she just like turns him into a cheese string. And so, yeah, I just think that it would, I don't know, like you say, there could have been so many more interesting things. And I thought like with the multiverse, they do some interesting things, especially in like the big showcase that will be in like probably in one of the Marvel Studios bits in the logo.
Yeah.
But it's like with the going on red instead of green. I think that was a good conveyor to the audience of like, oh, they do the same things different here.
Yeah.
But they didn't tend to explore much else outside of that.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Like there wasn't, I mean, I've not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, but they have hot dog hands or something like that, or like all the googly eyes and whatnot. And so, yeah, it just felt like there were so many more interesting avenues that they could have possibly gone. But then also, I understand that they had like so much to do anyway and trying to.
I've got two things in this that like I feel like would have made it more succinct, made it more grounded in the MCU, and would have allowed it to do more things. I think when we learn that Wanda is an actual problem and a threat, we should have learned about Agatha being still alive in the MCU, because she's still around and she's getting a series, and we then get to go, oh, is she actually a villain, or is she just trying to protect the people of this city that are currently being tortured by Wanda? And it brings in that dynamic of the same thing that sort of Loki and Thor have, where it's like, oh, clearly Loki's the villain, but also he's learning to accept other people and trying to be a normal and better person. I think we can have a better Agatha, and Agatha in general brings so much more to the MCU than Wanda does based off of what we saw in WandaVision. Just such a better character. I love Agatha so much. But also, Loki was supposed to be in this film, wasn't he? I thought there was so many rumors saying like he was going to be in this film, or like he was filming late for Loki, which meant that he had to be in Doctor Strange.
I don't know.
So like adding in the TVA and talking about how, oh, this is also a science and not a magic, like that brings in stuff for America Chavez to learn about, and it brings in the other America Chavez to learn things anyway about the multiverse. And then you've got like, Doctor Strange, who should know this. He's learning everything about the multiverse.
Like it goes to show how like in such a state it is when it was like Kevin Feige has to rectify like on a red carpet. It's like, oh yeah, this is all happening because of this one specific thing that happened in Loki. So that's why this didn't work in Spider-Man. So that's why this, like, it feels like it's no longer like. I'm not saying every story should be simple. I'm not saying everything should be like this, and this. But I feel like it's lost itself so much. Like this sort of thing wasn't present a long time ago, and that's where I think they kind of need to sort of sit down and have a bit more of a think about, like, and use that retreat to think, right, how do we make this as cohesive as it once used to be, like, which I don't know. I'm not saying it should be that. Like I'm so happy it was different in so many ways, but the story's suffering because it's not at the moment.
I feel like I've been overly negative about it because I did enjoy watching the film, and like I didn't sit in it in the movie theater like, oh, that's shit, fuck that. Why he's doing that American accent? It's shit. But like, it's just once you come out of it and you think about it as a full piece, they're just running away from Wanda until they get to the ending where they just confront Wanda with her actions, and that's it. Like nothing actually happens in that film other than, hey, look at this.
But I think that is one of the benefits that you can have from having the shared connected cinematic universe, where not every film has to be like a go over here and get this MacGuffin and do that, and obviously they still have that and they still have to do and find whatever. But I think I really like the fact that some things are just the smaller stories, and then other ones are like the big grandiose, like not even in the team ups, but like just some of them a lot more world ending stakes. And obviously I know this one still is like multiverse ending stakes, whatever. But yeah, I just really love that you can have that difference where some of them are just huge and then this one is just so simple.
The only thing I would say on that is that, like, because they've called it Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, you're going to expect such a big part of like the MCU to be brought in with this, because it's telling you it's doing so much, and then it just doesn't. And then people are saying, "Oh, that's fine. I like a simple story," but you've just told us it's going to be big. Like, I feel like the way that people say that, like, "Oh, I'm fine. I enjoyed the film because it was simple and did stuff." It's like, well, are you not looking at any of like the marketing that they did, saying like this is got huge stakes for the MCU, or this is changing how you think of it? Because it doesn't.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily story-centric, just depending on, like, which multiverses they go to and what happens there, and exploring all of that within it, because they did spend a lot more time in some, like, in the other multiverse than I thought they would. Because I thought, oh, okay, they're going to be here for a little bit, and then they'll then go off to the other one, and whereas it seemed like those were, like, the main two, with, like, being in the 616 and then the whichever
I'm glad they
one.
gave it a name. I'm glad we got a name for ours.
Yeah.
But
They should have gone to C-137.
it's true. No, but that's Cronenberg.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's strange. I feel like this is Doctor Strange.
Hey.
It's just it's not it feels like they marketed a different movie. That's what it feels like to me, because I feel if you call that anything else, if you just say like Doctor Strange learns about his journey or something, it's a story
That's
about
a very
him.
catchy title.
Okay, sure, but like if you actually make it centered around Doctor Strange's character, rather than going, look at all these things, and you're like, holy shit, look, the Charles Xavier, that's insane. That means they're gonna bring the X-Men, or like, oh look, Captain Carter's in it. I remember them from What If.
Yeah.
But you're then like, okay, cool, but what about like? Why is that now? They were all dead, so that none of that actually mattered. We got him to get over the character that no one actually cared about in Doctor Strange anyway.
I think we should take all of the Marvel writers to one side and just ban them from using the phrase "I can do this all day."
I hate
that got groans in my theatre.
Why did they do that?
People were pissed off about that.
Because I think, especially in that whole scene, they felt like caricatures more than characters. They felt like they were there because you've just, like, if that happened in our current 616 universe, if, I don't know, I'm trying to think, say, like, it happened at, like, the point in Civil War where, like, they did that to Tony Stark, for example, with, like, the head popping, and then you'd see everyone's reaction, then be more emotional in the fight, and then you'd feel the loss. Whereas they would, like, they just witnessed a whole load of their close friends die, and then they were still like, I can do this all day. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
Whereas it felt like they should
My
be
best
like
friend has just been crushed to
more,
death.
Yeah, they should be more like emotional and like really trying to get them, and then that could like just offer a bit more. Yeah, because that is then what made it feel more like it was just, oh, we're like, remember me from What If? Like, here's my famous line. I could do this all day. Wow,
bro.
instead of just what have you fucking done?
It's the same thing that Marvel been doing since Tony died. It's just like, oh yeah, you remember Iron Man? Here's what happened because he's dead now.
I mean, every What If episode, I think,
It's
like,
just to reinforce
just
Iron
killing
Man's
Tony
dead, by the way.
Stark.
Yeah.
The one that
Also-
they cut out, he's going to die, and I guarantee.
Also, please, can they stop hurting Patrick Stewart? Like,
Yes.
how many times has Xavier died at this point?
Too many.
That was my like Achilles heel with the film, because I thought, like, right, one of the best X-Men characters. You've got so much you can try with Charles Xavier, and they did the best like visualization of his power, like, since the first X-Men film in 2000. That was impressive as hell. You've got something really cool there that gave me hope for the future of what X-Men will be, potentially, if it's given to the right person. And then killed off 2 minutes later, and I think, oh, Patrick, you had such a nice conclusion. Why'd you come back for this? Like, you
But it's
had
a different
the
one.
best fucking end for a character, yeah. But it was like
fine,
your
it's a different
relationship
one,
with that
so we don't have to
character
care
was
about it
done.
anymore.
Why would you come back and do it again? Just, you had Hugh Jackman holding you in his arms, and you came back for this. Like, and 2 minutes of it was great.
I think they've confirmed now that John Krasinski is going to be in the Fantastic Four movie. or as far as I've heard, it was like.
Well, it'd be
Marvel
really odd
leaked.
if he wasn't.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, if they just did that as fan service, like to be like, oh, yeah, here's John Krasinski, and then just a different Reed Richards is there, you're like, oh shit.
Rahul Kohli is right
Yes,
there.
he's right there, and he's a
It
better,
could have
better
been-
actor.
It could have been so cool. And like I'd have given Multiverse Madness more points. You're like, oh, you've completely subverted my expectations. That's cool. We get a different Charles Xavier as well. That's cool. But
That'd have been cool, yeah.
like, they.
It would have been weird if, or like potentially more interesting if they brought McAvoy in and then killed him off, because obviously we've seen the
Oh,
Patrick
yeah.
Stewart Xavier die 40 million times at this point, and so
Yeah.
you're just kind of counting down the minutes of, oh, he's only got however long left until the character's
Yeah.
gone, whereas it would have been like when they did first start killing like all of the Illuminati, it's like how, you know, they had the moment where Wanda looks to camera for like a slight moment.
Yeah.
Imagine if, as like Reed Richards is being splayed, he just turns to the camera and does an office zoom, and then his head then pops. Like,
could've
how
been good.
incredible would that have been?
That would have been. That's a Sam Raimi moment as well,
Yeah,
though. That would
good,
have
yeah.
worked so well, and they got
Like,
muted again.
I felt so sorry for like poor Anson Mount. Like that man is a glutton for punishment. Like he signs on like however many years ago as it was. Like he's gonna be the biggest star of like the MCU's next phase in television. It's nothing. It's nothing. He gets called back. We're gonna like let you do the character as it should have been. We'll let you show Black Bolt as it should have been. And then
The
it's just,
proper
like,
outfit.
gone immediately.
Boof.
Like it's like, mate, I feel so sorry for that guy. Like,
Maybe they will
But
bring out the
everything was
Inhumans
promised
now,
to
though.
him, and he got none of it.
Maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe we'll get the Inhumans actually this time now.
But something that I will commend Marvel for, I know they do like a lot of course corrections of like, oh shit, that didn't go too well, like the whole Mandarin thing in Shang-Chi. And maybe they like, I mean, I know they did cancel Inhumans as the TV show, but no matter the critical or commercial reception of something, like
God.
Thor the Dark World or Inhumans, like Thor the Dark World was still a massive bit in Endgame where they then have
Yeah.
to go back and
Huge
see
bit.
like, and
Weirdly
then also
huge
having
bit,
the
actually.
Inhumans here. And I think that that is something where it's like, oh, okay, they still acknowledge its existence. They don't completely sweep it under the rug and go like, oh, fucking
Yeah.
forget about that one. Like, that is something that I really like and appreciate, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it is still like a part of the universe, and it's nice to still have it being like appreciated, if that makes sense.
It's then they've made it the reason you can't skip it, because you then have to go back and see it. It's like, oh, I kind of guess I have to watch this now.
But you don't. That's the best bit about the multiverse, is you can pretend they're a different one. Just act like this is a different Loki from a different 2012 and never watch Loki.
It's like they never use the word mutant. They never use the word inhuman. You could have just like, it's like oh yeah, he's not this. He's like a different variation of it. And that was where I was just kind of like, these aren't characters. These aren't things. They're in a real world. This is a name you know. Like if they were actual things, you'd be like, all right, this is this. That the wedding bit was all right. I like that.
Wedding
Yeah.
Day.
You're kind of a dick. Like you gave the time stone away. You fucked us all over. Like my cats and my brother died. That was a fun moment. I wanted more of that.
I do like that there are.
Love Michael
I-
Stuhlbarg.
I still like that there's like a clear. They're trying to talk about the consequences of the blip, and I feel like we need to. I want more of the MCU to address it, because we got
Yeah.
it from Far From Home. Obviously, quite a lot, and then I don't think we've really talked about it properly until now. Again,
Yeah.
It's in
it
in
gets
Hawkeye quite a
mentioned
bit.
sometimes. It's in
Hawkeye.
yeah, Hawkeye, where we have Yelena get blipped, but like that's about
Yeah.
it.
And the whole consequence of
Yeah.
who Hawkeye was in that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, because then, like, after the first Avengers film happened, it was every single film, oh, the battle for New York, and, like, even in
Yeah.
Jessica Jones of, like, oh, my family were crushed in the rubble of this. And, I mean, even in Hawkeye, they went back to the first Avengers film.
Yeah.
And so it felt like that almost had more ramifications than the blip, because that is such, like... I know there was the whole thing on Twitter a little while ago of, oh, give us, like, indie Marvel films where you're just, like,
I still want
someone
that,
struggling. Like, I think if you did, like, a Disney Plus anthology series or something where it was just... I mean, even if it was just a what-if episode where it was set
Yeah.
in our universe or something, just to see the more ground-level, character-based, like, human side of it. Because that's something that is really interesting, where you see the same events but from the different perspective.
See it from a father, like,
Yeah.
dealing with his kids, like, who are just like, oh, I love these guys, and then they see Captain America and Iron Man fight, and they just start fighting with each other because they both like their favorite.
I mean, it's like, wasn't it Marvel did that really cool comic? I think it was called Damage Control.
Yeah.
Where it's about like that little set of people. It's like, right, well, we now have to work out what happens when a Hulk walks through a city and like does what he does. Like we've got to pick up the pieces after it. Like that's
because that's what they
interesting
started to
story.
do with Michael Keaton, isn't it? Where that's what he was doing, and then
I thought they
Yeah.
they were in talks to do a show about like the cleanup teams, like Michael
would-
Keaton.
I'd be down for
sort of,
that, yeah.
because
That'd
that
be
would be
interesting.
so cool.
give us
Be
like
a very weird niche of it.
give us like a Star Trek Lower Deck style show.
Yeah.
That would be like a
Yes.
Just be nice. I don't know. I think there's just the way that we're trying to bring the MCU onto the next thing, so people are excited again. Whereas like I'm excited now. You've done it successfully, but like now you're just consistently doing that to build more excitement without knowing what you're gonna do next.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like again, going back to it, that was my issue with the ending and the mid-credit scene, because like you show ramifications and consequences for a character that everyone is like invested in, and then it's like, no, here's this new person. Aren't you interested in this? Maybe.
Well, I mean, like, what do they release next, like, that fixes it for you? Like, for me, I've had everything that, like, I'm not excited about the next few set of films. I don't really care for a new Guardians. I'm not bothered about Ant-Man. Like, what, other than Blade, I don't really care what's next. Like, what's the thing for you now where it's like, yes, that's the next logical step. That's the next thing that gets me back in. Because I'm at the moment, like, struggling.
I'm not like out, I think, is the thing. I just like
Because I'm teetering.
I want them to just deal with the things that they've done now. Like, we're there now, but we're not going to get that until Ant-Man. Blade's going to come in, that's going to be a standalone thing. We've got
Yeah.
Thor and then Guardians. I guess they're back to back.
I forgot about Thor.
Thor's going to be really fun. Just because Taika Waititi's doing it, and they're actually going to explore how he's trying to figure out what his actual mission is. That's going to be cool.
With Thor by TT, I know it's like the big thing every time a new like Marvel film comes out, where it goes, oh, this is the most interesting, complex villain yet. But he said he thinks that Christian Bale's villain's going to be like
That
the
sounds
best
fun.
Marvel villain yet.
Yeah,
That's so
and I
cool.
believe it.
Yeah. I also know in Guardians that, like, Karen Gillan and everyone said, like, the entire cast cried reading it. Because they
Really?
just love it. And so that obviously means we're probably going to get rid of Batista.
Did
But-
you see the leak of what happens at the end?
No.
No,
Essentially, what happens is Barney Stinson comes in and he just
yeah.
sets off a nuke and it just kills everyone straight off.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Dude, that's... I never would have thought that would be... I mean, I guess after Robin left him, it's pretty
Yeah,
hard.
he says it in like, he goes, have you met Ted? And then it's like the nuclear bomb just has like a little face on it and like googly eyes and it says Ted. And then it just
And then the
sets it off and
machines
kills
rise
everyone.
up, and he becomes the analyst for the Matrix Resurrections because they think, yes, you've killed society, and we'll make you the new machine. It writes itself, guys. The MCU was just a prequel for
Hire
the Matrix
us now.
Resurrections.
Hire us now.
The better film than 23 films. Like, it's all a prequel. That was the thing as well. Like, I was watching Doctor Strange. I was like, I'm looking forward to this. Any attention I could have had for that film was completely eclipsed by the trailer that played before it. Like,
Oh,
the
Avatar.
fucking Avatar 2 trailer was like,
Yeah.
I ascended. Like, I was just
It
squirming
does
in my
look good.
seat with enjoyment. Like, that was...
It looks really good. I was not in on it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll probably watch it because, I mean, it's taken them, what, 14 years to do?
Yeah.
But,
Just... Oh,
oh wow, that looks beautiful.
sat in my
forgot.
seat, just Jim Cameron.
I forgot how much I
Pounding.
love the way they do the floating islands. They just look
Yeah.
so pretty. Like, it just floats and it
Yeah.
looks like it should be there.
I think that's one of the things that's so good about the trailer is they're like, okay, we kind of know most people don't really remember the plot. It's like not the big thing that everyone comes here for. We're just going to give you a showcase of the vibes. We're just going to
Yeah.
show you the music and the visuals, and you are going to want to get lost in this world again.
Yeah.
The
And it was
water
just, like,
looks
from-
beautiful as well.
from seconds there was a fidelity we haven't seen in what feels like a decade. Like, it was just the way the light interacts with just their skin, their eyes, like the water.
I understand why they waited.
Do you see what? Did you see they did a whole load of the mocap stuff underwater?
Yeah, that's
incredible.
But this is he can't make a film and not revolutionize something about the industry after he's done it. Like, it's. And
I mean, he tried to do that with the first Avatar, and 3D did not catch on. So,
although
it did, it caught on, but in the worst
did.
possible way. Like, everything was 3D, and it was for the
because
worst. But
everyone did the
change
cheap caching version. Yeah. Because with this one, what he's apparently looking to do is high frame rate 3D.
Really?
Yeah.
I might have to watch it in 3D.
That's interesting. I am going to watch it in 3D, and I hate watching films in 3D. Like.
Okay.
But I mean, like, this feels like the ultimate Cameron film. Like, everyone's there. Sigourney's back. Kate Winslet's back. Like, all of his OGs are, like, in this. I reckon Michael Biehn will be in it at some point. Like, if Bill Paxton, God rest his soul, was still alive, he would be in this at some point. Like,
Billy Boy.
It feels like just the purest, like, essence of, like, you see when he put that trailer out. It's like, yeah, this is my heart that I'm delivering to you, and I'm so happy he's gotten to do this again.
Yeah.
And treat us with it as well. He could have never made this, but we're treated with a lovely step back into just how lovely it all looks.
It's exciting.
And I mean, everyone else was bored. Everyone else in that cinema was bored. I just want to watch the Marvel movie. I was just like, thank you.
It is a weird place to put it, I'll be honest. They just sort of decided to put it before Doctor Strange, and like Doctor Strange has been hyped up as this big thing, and then like, oh yeah, so here's Avatar 2. I know you forgot what Avatar was, but
well, I suppose they thought,
Avatar
what's the
2.
film that's we need to release the trailer around this time for the marketing? What's the biggest one that we can put it in front of to get as many eyeballs on it as possible?
But I think, like, whenever I feel lost, whenever I feel like, oh, this isn't for me anymore, just something like that turns up, and I'm like, yeah, there's still someone out there, still someone who cares.
That's fair.
It made me happy.
It looks fun. I will watch it, and then I will watch the rest of them. Apparently, they're all like different stories, as far as I know.
I think it's like the kids are meant to become like the focus characters in the next ones, like, because I know it's Jake and Neytiri's kids, so like in this, and I think like 4 and 5 are supposed to be like the point where the kids will take over as the protagonists, which is a lot of fun because we've never seen that be fully done on, like, I can't think of like a big franchise movie set that's done that before other than the MCU, like Hand Off a Cast or a Rain. So it's nice to see something else try it and likely succeed at doing it.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We don't know how good Avatar is going to be yet.
Oh no, I'll stake my life on it. Like, you can come up for a forfeit for me, like, if it is bad, but I will.
Well, I mean,
I will do
you
something.
still need to eat your shoe from the Zachary Levi being in Thor.
Yeah, that's.
And you still owe me a kidney from saying that a redacted character would be dead in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
When he came back to life.
I owe a lot of things for my bad takes. Get out on a t-shirt. Just.
A very important question for the both of you.
You do?
Yeah.
Especially with Moon Knight having concluded this week. Would you smash or pass on an evening with Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac, but you have to wear, for the entirety of whatever happens that evening, it will start off with a really nice meal. You have a few like bottles of wine. It'll be a really, really nice occasion. We'll keep this Christian. And then you can see where the evening takes you from there. Except the whole time you have to wear the shoes that Ethan Hawke's character has in Moon Knight with the broken glass inside it.
Ooh.
How big are the chairs?
You have to stand up for the entire time.
Oh, then no. I was
Is
gonna
it
say,
not
if
worth
I'm
Is it
small,
not worth it?
I am small. A lot of the time, my feet don't touch the ground. So, like, I could have gotten away with that very easily. But if I have to stand up, I have to not move for a long time.
I thought you were going to make it like you have to be that weird hippo thing.
Smash or pass the weird hippo thing.
Smash.
I haven't even seen Moon
Smash,
Knight.
smash, 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 smash.
So if I get like destroyed from my comments last week, we've just got Michelle admitting that like a hippo thing. I don't even know the context for why there's a hippo in it. I just know there's a hippo.
It's a really good character. I really like the hippo.
She's nice. She's lovely.
It's a character?
Yeah. Tarouette. She's the she sails you to the Forest of Reeds, River of the Reeds, whatever it's called. Something in
talk?
Egyptian mythology. Yeah, it does.
That's fun.
I must admit,
That's fun.
I did really enjoy Moonlight quite a lot.
I mean, that was fun, but
Yeah, Zach, would you smash or pass?
Yeah, I'd do that. I'd smash. Yeah.
I'd say it's worth it for like. I mean, how long would it take your feet to recover?
I will say I've been to services at school where I would have to stand up for literally 1 hour in one place. The amount of people that fainted just standing there, I was close to.
After
Just 'cause
1 hour?
You have to stand there in one place singing and not moving.
I mean, not other than the singing. Like, I have to stand there for like long periods at
In
work and
exactly
stuff.
one place.
But
There's no moving
You
around.
can walk around, can't you? Like,
Yeah.
if you need to move your
If
feet,
you can
move
move your
feet.
legs, get the blood
Yeah.
flowing, you can't do that when you're tucked in with a bunch of like 200, 300 people. At least at a concert you can jump.
Yeah. And you're drunk, so you don't care.
True, the blood's not flowing anyway.
were you not drunk at these school concerts?
Oh no.
No.
Unfortunately not. We're too young to drink the wine, you know. And I don't think that's supposed
Bring
to
in
be
a bottle of
slamming it.
water, go up to Mr. Christ and be like, "Oh, sorry, sir, would you mind? I actually can't buy any wines, so please can you..."
I hate to break it to you, Jake, but Jesus Christ has been dead for about 2,000 years.
Spoilers? I haven't finished reading the book yet. Jesus Christ. For fuck's sake. I just got to this crazy bit where this bloke's building a massive boat. I'm really excited to see where it goes.
That's a sad story, I'm sorry.
Like, when does Steve Carell turn up when the boat's being made?
I'm not quite at that bit yet. But I'm excited for it.
Someone thought it would be a good idea to have Congressman Baxter walk into just a procession at the United States Senate and just appear as homeless man Noah, and thought this will be a movie, and then we'll have a Falcon take a crap on John Goodman's face. That got made.
And that was better than Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, I stand that. Evan Almighty, film of the forever, film of everything.
Thanks for coming.
I promise next time we won't talk about something that's the biggest thing on the planet.